Boys, welcome back to Top Rope Commentary. So he's on the title, so he feels good about himself. It is the second podcast.
Oh,
because
after
the first one is gone.
After the defenses, you saw how I won this championship. Through trial and tribulations. This man smacked the controller out of my hand. And what did I do? I blocked it. And
you know what I realized I could have done, by the way? I could have just grabbed you. The block would have done nothing. I don't play fighting games.
But we play smarter. And then in UFC, this man made me defend my honor. And what did I do? Didn't take him to the ground. We stood there and fought like gladiators.
That's actually a really that was a couple UFC
really was the most fun. As you see, like you could definitely tell the level of noise from Mortal Kombat to UFC. Yes. As UFC got way too.
That's okay, because we're back with the podcast.
And Halloween Havoc just kind of occurred too, so we got the review on that.
That is actually the first thing we're going to be starting with is... actually, not the first thing. Something else happened this week.
In relations to the Brawl Out.
Yes, the Brawl Out at All Out. Brawl Elite Wrestling. So, Ace Steel was fired.
Ace Steel, in fact, was fired. The Elite, CM Punk, both suspended, as well as a few other names like Michael Nakazawa, Christopher Daniels, Brandon Cutler. But it seems like those three were for much shorter times, maybe like a week or two.
Cutler's definitely back because he's got a match with
he was on Dark
against Pretty Peter Avalon, the Rock and Hogan of this era, if you ask me. And dude, their feud is possibly the second best thing that AEW has ever done. The first being Hangman Adam Page winning the World Championship.
But it's all on Elite. It's all on Elevation and Dark. So I don't.
It's okay. That's okay. It's a free YouTube show, and
it's free. That they don't. That's another topic for another podcast.
Yes, it is. That being said, there's talk of them buying out CM Punk's contract. Apparently, nobody wants him back, including Tony.
But there's also been rumors and feelers out that WWE isn't completely closed doors. Like there have been sources in Triple H's inner circle that
are saying no,
but then they're also saying
there's talk that maybe Trips is interested, which is interesting because the problem was with Triple H.
I feel like the problem was bigger with Vince, and then Triple H just kind of got stuck with dealing with it majority of the time, so it eventually just became a problem. But also another thing that insiders have been saying is that Triple H is with this new direction that he's kind of pushing. He's all for kind of building and working towards what's going to make pivotal TV.
Yeah,
agreeing CM Punk is pivotal TV. Plus, with this potential buyout that he's going to get from AEW, he could, if he wants to just do wrestling, he can come back to WWE very cheap.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants to go back to WWE unless they're paying him a lot of money.
I mean, they'll pay him a good amount, but he'd only probably be signed for maybe...
Yeah, he's going to want Brock money.
See, that's the thing. If he's going to want Brock money, WWE's going to want Brock type of, we need Brock interaction. Yeah. Granted, Brock shows up occasionally, but Brock's there. Brock's doing everything there. Showing up for a segment... F5 and 5 people might be out there for 2 different promo segments, especially if you're talking Cowboy Brock.
Dude, oh my god, Cowboy Brock has been probably the most entertaining Brock since the turn, with the exception of Brock Party.
And
when he had money in the bank, he was rocking out to the. I'm gonna throw my AJ Styles hat on. I don't like how my hair looks today. With the exception, whenever he's sitting there dancing to Seth Rollins' theme music with
the boombox.
Oh, that's good times.
Which, I mean, CM Punk right now, and with the tease on but Dynamite yesterday, that the Elite basically kind of got
back.
They're not. They got Thanos snap.
I think they're teasing that they're coming back. But what's interesting is the way it seems. Everything that was mentioned in that promo or in that vignette was them talking about AEW. And then at the end, AEW fades away. So I think it's kind of building them coming back to remind us All Elite Wrestling is not All Elite Wrestling without them. It wouldn't exist without them.
But I think they do Kenny Omega answers Chris Jericho's ROH championship, sends it off of him. They say if you want to see how AEW does without the Elite, fine, we're gonna take Ring of Honor, and they basically pull a whole Shane McMahon and Tony Khan's now. Well, I own ROH too. Well, dotted line. We're also eating that like the history that they have, basically kayfabe it up real hard, but basically saying if you do if you want to fade us out of all Elite, fine, we're gonna see how elite you can be with. What we're gonna do it with honor. And
yes, I miss the old AEW where they kind of had more backstage stuff.
That statement alone is kind of weird though. That AEW is only in the 30s. I miss old AEW.
I miss the AEW where it wasn't trying to be WWE, which it feels like they're trying too hard now. They obviously focus more on the matches than WWE does, but
I feel like
presentation-wise. I feel like their presentation-wise... That and Tony always likes to... Oh, we're a competitor. Do your own wrestling show. Let the product speak first. So whenever they were the first year of AEW was fucking...
And that I mean, you let the product speak... But we can't not deny that in that first year, they were still very anti... What? Oh, it was peak, anti WWE. They would consistently make references as to we're not like them. There's more opportunity here. Wins and losses.
Cody smashing the throne.
Yeah, wins and losses. There were so many especially since they were both on Tuesdays. There were so many indie made that.
So counter to that though, they were also vastly different WWE at that time. They were doing just simple stuff the backstage brawl with the Nightmare Family and the Jericho Inner Circle, and Santana knocks somebody through the door, and Orange is just sitting there against the wall. Or they'll be fighting, and Orange and Chucky T. Speaking of Chucky T, you got Chuck Taylor. I didn't get Trent. I also got Orange somewhere in here. I also got Orange. It hasn't come out yet. It's on the list. Chuck Taylor is officially a front three guy for my shelf. But they audio listeners love you to death. I was showing them. I got the Chuck Taylor AEW figure.
Come over to the YouTube and enjoy some.
Yeah, also an option. I got a random follow on my Twitch. That's so weird.
Well, shout out Loki was taken.
Yeah, thank you for that.
That's weird. Shout out in the video. Subscribe to the pod.
So,
but
I just.
Well, basically talking about them compare the comparison of it. I think that now, especially with this third year, some of that brand new toy luster has kind of worn off, and they have to go into competitive because when they go back to renew their TV deals, that's what they're going to compare them to. They're going to be like, well, WWE is pulling these numbers, this amount of rosters with these superstars.
That being said, though, AEW, apparently TNT or TBS Turner, overall
Turner,
Turner Discovery now, Warner Discovery. That's it.
Warner
that's
Discovery.
The new. Apparently, they're very happy with those numbers. Understandably, they're great.
Yeah,
numbers.
I mean, besides, they're not on Spike TV. They're on. So
yeah, TNT and TBS, which TBS a much or not much, but it's a larger network than.
And neither of those stations have had really wrestling before. Therefore,
they did. They had WCW.
WCW.
Yep, WCW was a Turner. Ted Turner was the guy who owned it. Yeah.
As soon as you said Ted Turner, I was like, it's all coming back.
Yep, Turner was WCW. That's why why it was such a big deal about Sting coming back. They're like, Sting's on TNT for the first time in 20 years. Sting! Yes.
The Stinger.
Listen, dog, I know you want to be a part of the podcast.
But with all this all-out, brawl-out stuff, it got kept right in time for all it happened right before Halloween happened. I think we should just go ahead and jump.
Yeah, well, it happened after Halloween Havoc, but yes. It happened this Wednesday. The most recent, the vignette was...
Well, I mean, yeah, the recent vignette, the CM Punk report, at least the last thing to touch on it. Did you see that they said his dog, like, it was...
Justice for Larry. I say we fire Kenny Omega. He clearly hit Larry with a V-trigger and knocked out some of his teeth.
A dog.
I need the fan art of that. I need the shirt. You can give half the proceeds to CM Punk.
Literally, it's him V-triggering the door and just a dog flying out like a door.
That'd be the great, that shirt would go hard. Like, speaking of shirts going hard, let me just,
the Mick Foley leather
dude, it's so good. It's so good. It's my favorite.
From the unboxing video.
Yeah. I think it's my favorite shirt that I own. And I got the Grayson Waller fit, without the shorts. It's pretty good. It definitely would. It's probably on Pro Wrestling Tees. Hey, guys, sponsor us. Anyways, we move on to Halloween Havoc. Overall, I thought it was great.
I thought it was a great show.
It got me to watch NXT Live, which is...
NXT's been...
You have been telling me to watch it.
NXT's been picking up. Like, it's been, like, slowly since, I want to say, back... Since, like, after... What was it? Great American Bash. It's really started to slowly pick up momentum. Characters have really started to, like, find their niches and, like, really start to, like, hone in. You've definitely seen, like, the progression of a lot of their, like, promo skills and just being, like, how much more comfortable out of, like, the regularly, like, are in the ring. It's kind of, I like, sat back and I kind of thought, wow, it's going to be really crazy in 5 years to see these guys on main, like, mixing it up with, like, Seth and, like, Legato and, like, Walter and, like, where Dominic's gonna be, like we're like all of
Dijakovic or
Mysterio, like we're like
Dijakovic too. Let's be clear.
Well, Dijakovic too. Like excited, like with the vignette of like him coming.
Yeah. So on post show notes, I put in all caps, Dominic Dijakovic is coming back, baby. I'm very excited about that. But let's
we'll start at the top.
I do have one more note that I put. Booker T used to be great on comedy. I did not think he was that good.
He's
a little overdone.
It's his first one back, and I think he still has to get into the back with Big Joseph. I feel like come because I think their next premium live event. Oh, it's in December.
Is it one for the Rumble though, or is it just?
It's NXT Deadline or something.
Deadline's Wednesday.
Oh, was that just a TV thing?
Yeah, because it's Mandy's 1 year celebration. That was like the whole
antithesis, which I think we're going to get a return on that.
Which we just spoiled the women's match down the line, but that's okay. But so the first match of the night, we had the 5-way North American ladder match. We had Carmelo Hayes, Wesley, Von Wagner,
Ora Mensa,
and Nathan Frazier. So. First note that I have on this match, Carmelo Hayes has incredible final boss energy.
Because the man don't miss.
I saw you go for the table, and I was like, don't do it.
I saved you headphone users. But Carmelo Hayes,
great wrestler.
Like,
he is very good.
He is, like, him, like, I can't wait to see that one person Carmelo Hayes just has, like, a feud with that's just like, you guys, they're gonna feud you guys for the next like 5, 6. I feel like Carmelo Hayes is literally one piece of that like Randy Orton, John Cena. He just needs to other person.
Yeah, and
they'll they'll take off. I'm very much
theoretically. I think that might be Tom Breaker. I can see that.
I see. That's the thing. I want to see them have like a flushed out like match. Like I need like cool because I'm also underlyingly he doesn't have that many matches, but anytime he has a match, he's no slouch. He's no slop. Trick Williams. I can't wait.
I liked his rounds match with Wesley.
Because if Melo goes to main, I would like to see him do it solo.
I don't think he's going to main yet. I think he's. We'll get to what my opinion on what he's going to do is after this. But a few notes I have. This had moments that felt like Carmelo Hayes' heel behavior is coming back to bite him in the ass. Like the was it Wesley and Nathan Frazier working together to whack him with the ladder.
Oh,
that beautiful Spanish fly. Like
anytime now, it is slowly becoming synonymous. Anytime you see North American title and ladder match, it's gonna be great.
Absolutely, especially multi-man ones. Woo!
It's building into a recipe for success.
So, Nathan Frazier and Von Wagner also had a lot of great back and forth. So.
Which I think I said in like our previous one. I think
there's
gonna be like
a feud.
There is gonna be a feud coming out of it. It just seemed
I didn't see Grayson Waller and Wesley as the feud coming up though, which was interesting because that happened on NXT.
Yeah, which also makes me think you might be right with what you said. Like Carmelo just might go ahead and be like next for Braun Breaker.
I think he should. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be a perfect person to take it off of him, and then have Hayes have a decent title. Trying to see other notes I made. Von Wagner killed Wesley by yeeting him from the ring to the announce table. That was so cool. And then he got buried by the ladder by Nathan Frazier and Wesley. Was it Wesley?
No, it was Ora-Mensah.
It was Ora-Mensah.
It was Ora-Mensah and Nathan Frazier. But the fact that they got on top of him and just started stomping on the ladder while they were like on top of him.
That was wonderful.
And then also Von Wagner almost smoked a lady in the crowd with the top of the ladder.
Yeah. She like matrixed it.
Yeah, she made all you hear is the crowd go, whoa. Like it's just like
and then my final note, Wesley followed up being murdered by Von Wagner by killing Carmelo Hayes with that Meteora onto the ladder bridge. That was so cool.
It was cool. I wish the ladder would have been like a little bit far apart. If it didn't break, just fall flat.
That would have been sick.
But I think it was just probably safer for it to still
absolutely.
be
It looked good. Something I liked about this match, and it's not something. It kind of sounds weird. It wasn't as smooth as a lot of wrestling matches. They looked like they were actually in a fight. Because can you chill? Chill back there, please. It do be like that. I'm blocking the dog view. She's on stream normally. I think that the fact that it seemed kind of at times sloppy doesn't seem like the right word.
Yeah,
like they were whenever they were doing the spot burying
Von Wagner just
kept slipping off of the
ladder,
the barricade. He kept slipping off the barricade whenever he was standing on it. I think it was Ora-Mensah or it was Frazier that kept slipping.
Because they were trying to lift it up and basically like do like the big like up down, up down, up down, and then like basically say I think that's the part that was because then they just started walking on it.
Yes. So, but the fact that like he kept slipping every time he did it, I was like, that makes it look more realistic. In my opinion, it looked better because of that. It proved the match. It happened quite a few times. It happened early on, even with Carmelo and I think it was Frazier right before the Spanish Fly.
And there's another match that down the card like that. I'd say in the same fashion, but I also think it made the match.
Yeah. So, but that Meteora led to Wesley getting the win,
which
great feel-good moment.
Story overall from especially in the land of WWE for you to be a tag team specialist, and they said it on commentary too. He's never won a singles title in any promotion he's been in. Like he's like so to be a really like a pure like tag team specialist. Your tag team partner gets released on their own, like of their own doing, like you had no part in it.
Yeah. And
now you're kind of left like drifting. There's a lot of questions in the air. Are they still going to use me? Are they just going to job me out to the end of my contract?
Was very weak.
I
understand
it was so,
from
so
perspective
quick and just so like
it was very knee jerk. I don't think it personally because it was from like wasn't he like 20 whenever the picture was taken. Apologized. Seems like it, based on everyone.
I think it should have been a suspension and then like an investigation because it definitely seemed like very neat because they had just won the titles. Like it was before they even got to like.
He was supposed to be in the game. I saw it. They had an action figure of his at Walmart.
Yeah, like
I almost bought it.
Like they had. Oh, I would like that's rare now because they always.
So that's why I bought. There's one.
I saw a Cody AEW.
Oh my god! Listen, if you see an AEW one, you message, and if I don't have it, I will cash app you the money. I collect them.
But just like knowing how just like the history that tag teams can have in WWE, it was just so good to see him like since like they actually saw the potential in West, like actually like okay,
he's very good.
We can rebound you and you can still be something here. We still want you.
My question: do you think he is the best in ring out of the Rascals? Because it was him, Trey Miguel.
Trey Miguel's smooth, but
one second. Sorry about that, guys. We had to pause the recording real quick. We're back. There, you won't see any like time difference, but
I can action. But Trey Miguel is really smooth, like especially like
didn't he just win the X division?
Yeah, like the Ultimate X that he had, like it definitely gives me kind of like low key vibe.
Cabal?
Cabal is his name.
Cabal with a V. Cabal is Mortal Kombat. Yes, low key.
Watch the video.
Here's the difference, though. Trey Miguel's not yet. low key, apparently, which sucks because great wrestler. I don't know him as a person. Obviously, I can't. It's like Austin Aries. Like I can't say he's a bad person, but
I think Wesley is a clip. I would say Wesley, Trey Miguel, and Nash.
I think it's very close. What sucks is Nash Carter is going to be forever listed as like the worst one because of what happened. But he was very good in the ring. And again, I don't think he should have gotten released.
I think he's just like he's supposed to be.
Yeah, I get that. So we then we move on to the cinematic part of Alba Fire versus Mandy Rose,
which
I loved this.
They should have given
the whole thing should have been a cinematic match.
If there's a Slammy Award for best acting, it needs to go to Toxic Attraction. No, Toxic Attraction just
as a whole. Honestly, all four women in that segment were great. You had
Mandy. I definitely like Mandy, but I was Gigi.
Gigi was a mood. Gigi was me.
Her just like sitting on the table, going just like, and then just like, wait.
What are you doing here, Chucky? She kicks her feet up, and I'm like, she's me. We are the same person. Because I'm a big horror fan. Like I got an Army of Darkness poster over there because of how much I love like horror stuff. I want to put that in the background. Yes, the side that doesn't have anything but a green screen.
What if we just put random things on the green screen?
Yes, it's just gonna be a picture of Gigi Dolan today. Dolan? Is it Dolan? I think it was Dolan. I don't know. I didn't watch NXT. That's why I didn't watch. I admit my mistake. I did not watch NXT since 2.0. Since Johnny left, I haven't watched it since. Because admittedly, for a while, because I'm a big AEW fan.
Yeah.
They were on at the same night. It just didn't really work, and I'm a big Johnny Gargano fan. Probably favorite wrestler.
Johnny G. Everybody needs G in it. R-Truth.
So good.
R-Truth should be protected at all.
But this match, this cinematic part, was it JC Jane? That's her name, right?
Yeah, JC Jane.
She's incredible. I loved her. Like she's too scared. She's like, oh, she broke my rib. I'm too hurt. I go, you guys don't need me. It's 2-on-1. And then she's the only one with common sense.
Yeah,
don't split up.
That's why I like she was the most like sensible one of just like, don't do this. We don't split up. I don't want to go in there. We shouldn't. We should drive back. No.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved it. She was great. Gigi Dolan. Is that right this time?
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome.
I'm 50-50 on Alba Fire's like face paint though. I was just like
I kind of liked it.
I was like, it's cool. Halloween Havoc, understandable.
I'd be cool with her doing face paint more often if it was different every time, like the half paint. Big fan. Rosa does it. Does Rosa do half or does she do
Rosa
full?
Does half.
She does full for like big matches though, right? Because I think she did full for the Britt Baker Championship.
Yeah, so she'll do full.
Yeah.
Big match.
Alba Fire doing like a half. I'm a sucker for a half face paint. I love it when Dustin Rhodes does it. Darby's looks good, and I love it when Thunder Rosa does it. I miss Balor doing face.
Imagine a half and half.
That'd be pretty cool. Dude, imagine half red Sting, half white Sting. That low key.
I was thinking half blonde, I was thinking Surfer Sting.
Yes, half Surfer Sting. I have the RoboCop shirt. There's.
Oh yeah,
and it's great. So Gigi Dolan was doing the like. She's loving this because it's horror stuff. And I think I put, let's see, Gigi Dolan's reactions were my reactions in the beginning. of like, this is awesome. I love, dude. I didn't see the pre-show where like they announced that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it pops up and I'm like, oh, what is happening? This is awesome. I was marking out. I loved every second of it. I also put JCJ in the only one with any sense. And then Mandy Rose looked like a badass in this cinematic stuff. She, first of all, Gigi being the only one to fight, or the first one to fight back,
yeah,
and actually like doing some good damage. And then Mandy just like kicking a ghoul in the nuts and being like, put some respect on my name. That fit her character so well.
Which I can't wait for this Mandy to return.
Dude, it's gonna be so good.
Because this Mandy coming back to Maine is gonna be.
I know a lot of people
like
don't want her to go up with Toxic Attraction. They don't want her to. They want her to go up on her own. I'd be all for her going up with Toxic Attraction.
Oh yeah, I'm
because
good
I want more factions. WWE.
I want more tech.
Hey, you know what you could have with a women's tag team? Action.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I said either way.
Yeah, I fully support it.
Because with Mandy going back up now, which I still think she could eventually like break off from Toxic Attraction, and Toxic Attraction
do her
like
own thing.
Well, not do her own thing
Sonya.
with Sonya. Because I do think for at least them being best friends and seeing their chemistry as tag champions.
Was it, Fire and Desire, right? Yes.
I think that, and plus they own their own like donut. Like,
I want to try it. I don't know where it's at. It's probably in Florida.
I think it's.
I want to try. I'm gonna go. I was just in Florida.
I think that's where they both stay.
I was just in Florida for the hurricane. I know that's a leak. That was not something we mentioned on the channel, but oh well. I want to try it. I'm sure it's really good. It's like actually like pretty successful.
Yeah.
Although granted, all of their Instagram posts is just like Mandy and Sonya and like bikinis and stuff. I get it. They know what sells. That's.
I get it. Profit.
Yeah. Then my last first I put never split up in all caps.
Never.
And
number one.
Alba Fire slowly picking off Toxic Attraction was amazing.
It made sense, like especially in like a haunted house, like especially if she had the layout.
She had it all planned out. She knew what she was doing.
I think having some of the actors, it kind of threw me for like a little bit. I think they should
just be creepy shit, kind of like how the what was the House of Horrors? Was that what the
how they did?
One was?
How they did Trick and Carmelo last year when Trick and Carmelo went to go back and get his North American title from. They did the same thing last year. Carmelo went to go get his NXT title back from
Loomis.
Yeah, Loomis and Gargano.
You know what's bad? I didn't see that, but you know why I knew about it? Because my boy Johnny was in it. Because I literally didn't know how Havoc was happening. But it
makes like basically like there was like a zombie. There was like I think there was like a zombie ref because zombie ref has been gets brought back around.
Yeah.
Like, but it was just like Loomis and Johnny being like they were the threat the entire time. Like everything was just kind of like creepy, but they were the actual physically.
So I just forgot to mention, what was your star rating on the ladder match?
Oh, on the ladder match, solid 4.
I gave it 4.5. That was very good. I feel like I rate things a little higher than you a lot of the time. But that's okay because we have differing opinions, and that's what makes the podcast great. Also, during the intro, I was gonna make a joke. The only podcast where 2 guys talk about wrestling, where only one of them's wearing a wrestling shirt. It's gonna start being a running gag in the intro where I just say random shit.
I'm gonna continuously get more and more obscure shirts. They're never gonna be wrestling shirts. It's gonna be more and more obscure.
Just obscure hoodies specifically. We're gonna get you the Top Rope Commentary bucket hat still too.
Oh yeah, I still gotta get that.
Yeah,
which will be coming soon, and I'll bring it at everything.
Yeah. So next up, we got Grayson Waller versus Apollo Crews in the casket match.
Also, this will be supposed to be going to SmackDown. Like that's gonna.
Yes, this will be coming after because you're going to SmackDown tomorrow, right?
Yeah, SmackDown tomorrow. So
yeah, so we're recording this Thursday. Obviously, audio listeners get it a day early. They get the podcast on Saturday.
So
non-audio listeners get it on Sunday. Yes.
And then, but also coming up next week, once we do the plot for our Crown Jewel review, I mean, probably do a SmackDown, depending on if any.
So I don't know if
actually even running the Chance.
Isn't he?
I might get an interview with Chance to see what his feelings are on being.
I'm trying to think if this airs Sunday. has not aired. This airs before his match for the North American title.
So, hey, I can get it.
him versus Cross. He doesn't know the results yet either, because he's going to find out when the episode airs.
Well, then, look forward to that. If I have an interview with Chance, we might get his post-cross-fight interview.
But next we go to Grayson Waller versus Apollo Crews. By the way, I think the predictions are going to be its own video, but we'll do the review in the pod next week. We go to Grayson Waller versus Apollo Crews casket match. Decent match. This is the one I didn't get a bunch of notes on because I didn't decorate. I thought it was solid. It was very good
for them building chemistry. Yeah, I think it was a solid. I think it's a good blow off to kind of what they had. The biggest hiccup I did have was the slant, like Apollo falling into the casket.
Through the casket.
Yeah, essentially, through the casket. And then, like, the lights going back out. And then him coming back out with, like, another casket.
Yeah, somehow that didn't end the match. It's because, like, he didn't close the lid on top of him. And it's a bigger casket.
And the casket was padded, too. This casket was padded. Like, it had, like, felt on the inside.
Well, you know why it was. So it's because of what the finish was. I didn't put a lot of notes on this match, but I said I did mention the Crews coming out surrounded by druids, brought a new casket to the ring. Worst part about this match, I didn't get to see Waller's finish. You know I'm a mark for that roll in and the cutter. I think it looks really
like that good. He teased it, though. He tried to, like,
roll. He tried doing it on the apron. I was like, that would be
But he also tried doing it, like, in the ring, and, like, Apollo caught him, and that's when he thumbed him in the eye.
Yeah. So, whenever he did it on the apron, I was actually really impressed that he did the roll on the apron. It looks so smooth. I'm becoming a Grayson Waller fan.
Like Grayson Waller.
That's, I wore
that British accent.
I'm gonna buy boxing shorts just for. Dude, they should
just
sell
the
that.
Waller effect.
They should sell Grayson Waller shorts on the shop. WWE shop.
Tweet at him.
I'll take some royalties, guys. It's okay. We're gonna sell it on we're gonna make a merch store. We're gonna sell it on the merch store.
Talk about Booker T's commentary though. Booker T's commentary as soon as Grayson Waller grabbed Big Joseph's pin. Instead,
he looks at it and goes, that was my pin.
That means you're an accessory to that. You're an accessory to my by proxy.
We peaked the mic by laughing.
RP had funny users.
All right.
And he said Carmelo Hayes was in his Fab Five already. Trying to figure out who the rest of the four is.
I'm going to normalize the audio before this video goes out, purely so that we do not peak everybody. Yes. That being said, the finish was like a choke slam into the casket, and then it looked very good. What do you give this match star? Give it 3. It was a very solid in-ring match. It had a decent story, but it just didn't hit. And it was right after a really good ladder match. It was right after that wonderful cinematic moment, which I loved. I think the cinematic part has been my favorite part of the show because I love a good cinematic.
I just really think like the in-ring was good. The story they were building up to it, I feel like they wanted to give it more room to breathe, but it just wasn't clicking. It just kind of rushed.
Was this your lowest rated match for the show, or interesting? Not mine. I have one that is rated lower, but it's because it's Mandy versus Alba. It's because I had to split it. I could not, in good faith, include the cinematic part. They're split by like an hour.
See, that's the thing, though. I include it as a whole.
I understand. I get that. Then I understand it. If I was to include it as a whole, it would have been a much higher rating. But next up on the on what happened, I don't know when the Dijakovic promo was. I didn't see that. I think I was using the bathroom real quick.
Yeah. I didn't notice until you said it in the.
I didn't even send it. I think it was might have been Billy or Brady. I think one of them.
One of the boys.
Yeah, it's one of our boys.
It's one of the,
yeah. But my next note is Chase U was great. Duke Hudson being in Chase U is great. I'm excited
because it's a teachable moment.
I bought the shirt. I bought the shirt because everything I've seen from Chase University has been hilarious. I'm a fan. The next podcast, I think I'm gonna have the Chase U shirt on.
Chase U.
So after that, what do you think of the Chase U? Quick rundown.
Andre Chase has slowly grown on. I thought it was going to be something that pretty much like fizzled out really quick, kind of like Robert Stone. Like I thought it was going to be one.
First of all, never respect that. He's still
never respected
never disrespected. Listen, I'm cosplaying him.
Von Wagner.
Yeah, he's Von Wagner's manager, right? I saw him. He was at the ringside in the ladder match. I was like, that's
Wagner
great.
looks like an angry.
Not the Rock.
Not the Rock.
He just looks like a Rock.
An angry Rock. An angry pebble.
He was actually really good in the ladder match. A lot of people thought. I saw a lot of people online. They're like, "Oh, he's like a worse Great Khali," and I was like,
"Yeah." I was like,
crack.
I was like, "No, he's way more athletic."
So, I don't know who mentioned the girl's name. HU. Her facial expressions in that segment.
She's like,
and on Tuesday, she's so. I like her.
Her energy reminds me of like early NXT Bailey. Like wacky wavy inflatables, just like in your face energy, like Bailey.
That's my favorite Bailey.
And like
I love role model Bailey, but Hugger Bailey has a special place.
She's slowly getting more and more like reps. She's had like a few matches like here and there, but she's definitely like super just like in your face, like energetic.
Oh yeah, she's I like her personality. She looks like she's got a lot of potential. Very obviously very attractive young. Just the fact that she's got those facial expressions down, though, I think that's going to take far in WWE.
Like, as far it has to like see like how she does like hearing her talk more like in like promos, because like these backstage like segments like does like really willing until like she kind of like bounces. Well, obviously she like started in.
Yeah,
the chemistry there has kind of been like building. Yeah. But you can tell she kind of like bounces off people, especially like Duke being.
Brody is the guy that the other guy, right? Bodie? No R.
Yeah, it's Bodie.
That's a weird name, but fair enough. Hey,
Bodie
he also was like really killing it in that segment. I don't know who Duke Hudson is. I've heard the name.
Duke Hudson. So
is he's not new to NXT.
No, he's there for some.
Yeah, he's been feuding with Bodie, or is that new?
He's been feuding. Duke Hudson's been there since like the
2.0. So about a year then.
Yeah.
Okay. He had a really good presence. We're spending a lot of time on a 2-minute segment.
he gives very Wade Barrett vibes.
Yes. Yeah, that, oh my God, that's it. I couldn't figure out who he made me think of. It is Wade Barrett.
Which Wade Barrett's first theme, heavily underrated, just give it to Duke Hudson. God Save the Queen.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the Nexus theme, which also was
he came out in the trench coat with a rose in the pocket. That was some real bad news headed your way.
I was gonna say the what's it called?
Wasteland?
No, the Nexus theme was also a bang. Wade Barrett had nothing
less than his solo theme.
Had nothing but bangers.
The core.
I don't remember the core. I thought the core was the same theme as Nexus. I thought they changed it one point. I think. Yeah, that's why I thought the core was just the. Fair enough. Next up, we got Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade in a Weapons Wild match. I loved this match.
This match was good, especially like setting the personal like best friends that have turned bitter enemies.
Very solid in ring, but I got a little emotional at the end. I haven't even seen the whole
when they
story.
Were going off of.
But not off of the I actually specified that spot as they climbed up to the elevated platform that Gronk jumped off of.
I think they call it like the Crow's Nest or something.
That's a great name. But first I put both women had the vibe of being absolute stars, especially at such a because they're both very young. They're in like the low 20s. I think Roxanne's 19. Cora Jade, I think, is probably our age, maybe a little younger.
No, Cora Jade.
A little younger than us. They just
hair and brown.
What's that?
No, it's a hair and brown burger.
That's that's an attractive couple. Like
dog-faced gremlin.
There's
Chain Bill.
Those two have the just the presence. That's the future of the women's.
Oh, I get it.
Without a doubt.
Also, that is a sleeper of the women. Valentina.
I don't think I've seen
her. She was with Sanga. She's tag partners.
Okay, so she wasn't on Halloween Havoc or NXT.
But the
Tuesday.
NXT Women's Division, though.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's great.
Headed by Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. And just like
that women's tag on Tuesday was really good. I'm not even a Nikita Lyons fan, but
she's very good. She's growing. I feel like give her
growing as a performer. Absolutely,
she's gonna hit a Carmella phase where like getting there, some solid to where it just like hits a string of matches where it's just like you're kind of
the Carmella spot it would be perfect for her, where it's like she can do a main title feud. Shouldn't be. I love Carmella, mind you. I don't think Carmella's main event women's wrestling material. I hate to say it. I'm starting to think that
she won it a couple times too.
I know. I'm starting to. I hate to say this. I'm starting to think that about Liv a little bit because of how badly that was booked. But I also think that do her character with Liv could be an incredible thing.
I think. We'll speak on Liv and all that. Right now we're Roxanne and Cora.
Roxanne bringing the skateboard out.
The skateboard was especially referencing Cora's like previous feud, and then just like basically the turn of it all with her just like basically smacking Roxanne in the back with the skateboard and it exploding over.
I loved the when Roxanne knocked Cora onto it and then just rolled her out of the ring.
That was a good spot.
That was really good.
Mysterio was at home like I like.
Dude, so that's what it reminded me of is whenever he used to do the slide.
The belly slide? No.
Yes. I also put they took a huge table bump from that crow's nest. And Cora was then assaulted by a pumpkin that was on the table. It fell on her. It's like that was funny.
Just seeing just like random things, especially like when people are playing them like a ladder or something, like or just like a chair or something, just like God.
They like I said, they got me all emotional at the finish, which was the "You were never my friend." Cora turns it around, like knocks her onto the chair, and goes, "You were always my best friend," and then hits the Pop Rocks, which I actually specified. I learned today she calls it Pop Rocks, like that name for her. Onto a stack of chairs. That was the finish.
I was like a good puddle of chairs. I'm gonna go into the puddle of chairs.
It was very. I think the finish was great. It's very emotional, especially if you've been following the feud. I haven't been following the feud because of me not watching NXT, but it was still really good as somebody jumping in. I give this 4 stars. That was a great match.
I actually gave it 4.5.
That's
like
fair.
I like you said, like from following like the feud, like seeing kind of how because at one point like they were looking to like basically like tag titles, and I'm seeing that they
were women's tag team champions. They won the NXT tag team titles next week before Jade turned. While they were still
right, because that's why I got confused at first. Like at the start, I was just like, "Why did you?" And then because then they basically relinquished it.
It'll pick up a little bit.
But I gave it 4.5. Like their feud kind of building up, and I see it kind of building as a taking inspiration from Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Yeah, it was a great feud. Cora posted on Instagram like right after that, basically. I think they'll come back to it. I think they'll separate for a little bit, get Roxanne versus Mandy, Cora versus Mandy, and then
I think we're gonna get a multi-woman. It's gonna be Alba Fire, Roxanne, and Cora all versus Mandy. I think that's when Alba's gonna pull it out, pinning Mandy. But I think it's gonna be one of those red herring situations. Roxanne looks like she's cleared the ring, hits a Pop Rocks on Mandy. Cora comes, knocks out Roxanne, and just like a quick boom, boom, boom. And for Alba Fire basically to take advantage of Cora and just dump Cora out the ring. Pin Mandy 1, 2, 3. Cora thought she got the one. Roxanne thought she got the one of Mandy. Like so now you got Alba still as champion, but then like Cora and then have a big blow off.
Next up we got Shotzi Blackheart and Quincy Elliott having a segment. Shotzi had like 6 costume changes so far in the show.
Oh yeah, Beetlejuice, Joker. She came out on a tank.
She was the devil at one point. It was awesome. I love Shotzi Black. Lash Legend then came out to interrupt. Called her the Green Goblin, which got a pop out of me. Quincy kept roasting the shit out of Lash, and it's awesome. Quincy Adams is growing on me. Or Quincy Elliott. I'm sorry.
Quincy Elliott. Yeah, I was gonna say Quincy Adams.
Where did Adams
that's
come
a
from?
President.
Yeah, it is a president.
That's a president.
John Quincy Adams. Quincy Elliott is growing on me, admittedly.
I think if
Shotzi hit her with the DDT, and I was like, "That's really sold that DDT." I didn't know that was Shotzi's finisher. She then won the match on Tuesday with the DDT. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is that explains."
Taylor DDT. But if Quincy like keeps up like really good like in ring like work rate and just kind of like starts like polishing out like his promo skills, I think you can get a real good mix of like what
Velveteen Dream and Vince.
I was gonna say Gold Dust.
I like that, but
because I think
very similar to Dream's persona as well, though. So that's fair.
Yeah, it is. I would say with like the Goldust is just like
Goldust personality, Viscera in the ring.
Yeah, because because Quincy Elliott like nicknames like the Super Diva.
Yeah.
So kind of like playing up like how like Goldust like would like do that kind of just like sensual like almost like seduction, but then there was just like also just like a whole backstock of comedy into it too.
I'll say this. This about to be the entire episode. It's just the
NXT.
Yeah, War Games is gonna come too. This is gonna be a longer episode. Doing War Games. We're coming. Yeah, we're at 47 minutes. We'll do a quick rundown of the Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp ambulance match. We have 4.75 stars, 4 3/4.
I actually gave this one this one was also really good. This one was kind of the one I was referring to earlier when I said like it had moments. A little bit disjointed, a little bit like hungry, but also it's just like a brawl. It's just like an ambulance brawl, and I think they did really good, like the chemistry building of each other.
Those two really worked well together. I put it starts with Julius Creed throwing pumpkins at Damon Kemp, and he ends up actually like nailing him one because he could block it with the chair, and it was funny. For some reason, Damon Kemp was throwing why were there crutches in an ambulance? We don't keep those in ambulances. Like that's not a thing. WWE, chill out.
I mean, they were just filling it all the way. They were just like, what you got? Canes, ambulances, and stretchers.
They had an auto loader, which is like you push a button to load the stretcher in. That's what that like thing in the middle was.
Oh, okay.
But the stretcher itself was not a auto stretcher. It was a different stretcher. It was a manual stretcher. Where did that second stretcher come from? Where's the power load stretcher? These are the questions I have as a paramedic that bothered me.
They gutted this entire EMT and we're just like throw a decoy out. Can we get one from Universal Paramount?
Him blocking the door with his fingers
and then just like slamming the when he laid
Did you see his hands on Tuesday?
No.
Oh my god, they're so like they were like they look. That's
when he just draped him like in there and then like slammed him basically on like his like upper like shoulder and he was just like draped into like the door.
Was a power bomb through the stretcher, which also I loved. I am a big Julius Creed fan. Damon Kemp's great too. Don't get me wrong. Julius Creed, in my opinion, has that just star power.
Julius Creed's also another one that needs to be better on the mic.
Yeah,
I feel like he needs to find his cadence.
So next up, we got Alba Fire versus Mandy Rose Part 2. I give this 2.5 stars. The lowest rated for. I
gave it 3.5.
You put it all together. I just rated the in-ring part. A lot of back and forth. Both women look great. Mandy has a beautiful spine buster. That thing was a work of art.
And that
as well. Just as I was thinking how nice it was to have a Mandy match without Toxic Attraction, they showed up. I don't know how they made it such a big deal about like Alba took them out.
Them, like,
yeah. And they still showed up. It would have been so much better if we would have had Sonya, like you predicted, show up. That would have been a much better situation. And then Mandy wins after what maybe my favorite knee strike in round. Very good. It's a tie between I like Roddy's jumping knee. hits it with such a and I'm a big fan.
Elias
has a good one. I'm a big fan of the beat, obviously. I don't know. Man, she's nicer to look at.
But we can't deny that Uber and Lyft exist. I don't know if they just requested one immediately after.
That's what it had to be. We then get Ilya Dragunov versus JD McDonough versus Braun Breaker. This is my favorite match of the show, but it's because I'm such an NXT UK mark, I think. That hard-hitting style.
My favorite match of the night was the North American title.
That was also a great match. I gave this match 5 stars, which is, I think, the second match I've given 5. No, third. I gave a match at, I gave 2 matches at Clash of the Castle 5.
Clash, I know it was
Walter. I know Walter Gunther. What was the other matches? I'd have to go back and look. I think I gave.
I don't think
Notebook should be over there. It wasn't Roman Drew. Maybe I gave one at All Out 5. There was another match I gave 5 stars. I just don't remember what it was. I don't know what notebook it was. There is a notebook somewhere that exists that has. I gave 2 matches 5 stars. That's fine.
I don't think I've given.
So Dragunov and Breaker just wanted to beat the hell out of McDonough was great. At one point, he was just ping pong ball between them, hitting him. McDonough's headbutt is brutal. The one that like Breaker's got Dragunov about to do his like little power slam. Mm-hmm. He just gets headbutted. Everybody goes down. That looked sick.
Braun's speed has slowly become.
He doesn't like run. He just does it from like standing and then just. He has so much launches himself. Imagine if he ran with it.
Because he has a lot of explosiveness. I think,
that'd be one of the craziest spears.
I think he runs with it sometimes. I just think like
I actually put
he just doesn't do like a rebound one.
Braun has one of my favorite spears of all time. Perfect mix of his father, and it works.
I'm just waiting on him to come out with a chain.
It's got to happen. It's maybe a Mania entrance.
If he comes out chainmail, he's got to do
the Big Papa Pump.
Where the freaks at?
Let's see. Oh my god, the catching the ref's hand.
JD, sliding in and just catching the ref's hand and just like staring at.
That was such a good Dragunov like is like laughing out of rage. That was so cool. That was such a good moment. But Breaker wins with that spear on Dragunov. I kind of wish he would have pinned McDonough. Tuesday kind of made it make a little bit more sense, like McDonough injuring Dragunov.
Yeah, all that sending him off.
So, I put post-show thoughts. Dominic Dijakovic's coming back. Really not big on Booker T right now as on commentary. I hope he does get better because he is Booker T.
I feel like that's what a lot of the commentary. Besides SmackDown, I feel like Raw is kind of dealing with it too because I was like watching it. Corey talks a lot.
I'm so tired of Corey Graves.
Like Corey talks. Good
Corey and Byron would.
Pat McAfee's supposed to be coming back in January.
That's going to replace.
I'm weirdly enough, I think it's.
That'd be interesting.
I think they're going to make that a trio. Which, if we get Pat and Corey, I'm actually kind of cool. Because I feel like Pat's just annoying enough to get on Corey Graves' nerves.
He just needs to. So one of the worst thing that happened since Triple H took over was that match where Corey Graves and Byron Saxton were literally arguing the entire match, and that's my issue with it. He can be really good, but it feels like lately he's taking too much matches. Well said. Alba Fire, if she's not going to be the one to defeat Mandy, put her on the main. Great on it.
I think they keep her around for Europe.
I just really raised. And that I really want Dragunov versus Gunther for the IC title. Put it for the IC title. Give him like 30 minutes. We're gonna have another 5-star Walter match.
I think Ilya is another one of them. Give him till next post-main.
Okay, so that when you say post-mania, is coming Mania?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like the Raw after Mania or something like that.
Yeah, like give him because I think he needs a little bit more time to create a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I agree. So, overall, what do you think?
Overall, if I had to grade it, it's definitely an A. Definitely an A show with the amount of like effort and like the amount of like energy that was like put into it. It's definitely was sitting where I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like from start, like starting off with the banger of the ending with the title match, like the nice little cinematic moment, like with Mandy and like the title to add something like unique match after him putting segments of.
Yeah, 100%. So here's the thing: we have another segment. We're at 56 minutes. Don't know how long.
We might. Well, I mean, if
we could just split this into podcast, it'd be 2 uploaded in one. Fine with me. I don't mind them.
Because the whole thing kind of wound up being a Halloween Havoc review, which
I
don't mind either.
I'm perfectly okay with that. So I say what we do: cut the pod. 1 episode, episode 2, episode 3 will be released Monday. So we'll just do.
Well, it might not be released on Monday. We'll shout it over.
We'll split it a little bit, like Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday. That way, it's halfway through the week.
Will we have a topic for next pod?
Not yet.
Because we have pictures.
Yeah.
Well, because it'll be in the lead up, because that'll be the go home for Survivor Series.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be the next podcast. Then this one was a 1 topic pod.
On the Halloween Havoc breakdown. I mean, sadly, no title on the line. But
it's fine. We don't do it. We don't do it for NXT. They're not main. Not main round.
But this is the white.
They're the minors.
This is actually the first pay per view of the white and gold era.
It was because Worlds Collide was technically 2.0. It was great. It was a really good pay per view. Shawn Michaels is killing it.
Which the embrace he gave Wes Lee in the back too, seeing it like
so many people were like making comments about that, like but it was Tony inappropriate Khan. When Tony Khan hugged Cesaro, which it wasn't inappropriate, by the way.
It wasn't. People just
it's only inappropriate if the person is not comfortable.
The internet wrestling face.
Yeah. But thank you guys for watching the podcast or listening. If you're watching, the podcast is on Spotify. I believe it's on Amazon. It might be on Apple Music. I don't know. We uploaded it to a bunch of different podcast sites. So
check anywhere you listen to podcasts. Yeah. Top Rope Commentary. Yes. And also on the YouTube channel. Subscribe.
If you're an audio listener, love you to death. Check out the YouTube.
Try to get us bumped up.
Yeah, that too. Check out the YouTube because we are in the sports section under specifically the wrestling tag. I want to take the top spot from Jericho. I'm just saying. It's either him or Stone Cold, I think. Listen, I don't know. I don't think Simon Miller is on the podcast for What Culture. Is he?
No.
Okay, then you know What Culture? We're coming for you. All right. What Culture? Wrestle Talk. Was it Wrestle Ramble? Or what was it? It used to be like Wrestle Ramble back when it was just Luke and Ollie. Back in the day. That's when I used to watch. I don't watch Wrestle Talk as much, admittedly.
Oh wow, shots fired.
I know. They fell off.
Just burying us.
Thanks for watching, guys, or listening. Whatever your motive.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.